Good morning, students. Welcome you all once again for the social class. We were discussing about the socio-religious reforms, and we had a discussion on Brahmo Samaj, Young India Bengal, as well as Arya Samaj. Now, let us have a discussion on Prarthana Samaj. See, it is seen that Brahma Samaj played a very important role, especially it influenced all over India. Especially Brahma Samaj influenced all over, and the result was that the other Samaj like Arya Samaj and other Samajas came to existence. Now among them, one of them is Prarthana Samaj. This Prarthana Samaj, which was being established or started by Atmaram Pandurang. Atmaram Pandurang started this Prarthana Samaj. It was in the year 1867 at Bombay. Now, what is the aim of Prarthana Samaj? The aim of Prarthana Samaj is to find solutions. To find solutions. What to find solutions? They want to find solutions to the problems of women and lower caste. The people of lower caste and the problems of women, whatever they are. The main aim of Prarthana Samaj is to find solutions for the problems of women and the people of lower caste. And it is said that this organization, it argued, or the organization said that the reinterpretation of Hinduism is needed in the light of modern thinking. It's nothing but reinterpretation. Reinterpretation is nothing but re-entering of Hinduism. How can you go with the Hinduism again? Means they say it is required. There is a requirement of modern Western education or thinking. Prarthana Samaj says the reinterpretation of Hinduism must be with modern Western thinking. In the light of modern Western thinking, not to go with the traditional which has maximum number of blind beliefs, and one among such blind belief is the problems of women and the lower caste. These are the blind beliefs, and that's the what Prarthana Samaj says. If you go with the traditional method, you will again come to the problems like this. So in order to overcome these problems, you need to develop Hinduism with the help of modern thoughts, with the help of modern thinking. This is most important. See, there is the difference. Now, modernization doesn't mean, westernization doesn't mean only the negative. We will almost all discuss about the culture. We concentrate more on Western culture. Rather than concentrating more on Western culture, we should concentrate more on Western thoughts. There are a lot of difference. So Arya Samaj says we should concentrate more on the Western thinking or the Western thoughts. And it says reformation must not be only the thinking. Whatever you think, that is not important. Whatever you wish, that is not important. Okay. Reformation must not be only the wish, but it should become reality of life. Means reformation must be implemented in reality. Reformation must be implemented in our daily life rather than only wishing it. If you keep on wishing that we need to bring this change, that change, if you keep saying, you cannot bring the change. If you want a change, you should bring it into the reality of life. That's what the Prarthana Samaj says. And we see with the program of implementing Western thoughts, or with the program of implementing reformations, many programs are being launched. Prarthana Samaj introduced many programs. Now, what are those programs? First of all, you will see the program of education for women. Then, the second program what they launched is rehabilitation of poor. So these are the main programs that were being introduced. So now we had a discussion that where was Prarthana Samaj established? Started, and when it was started, who started it, what is its aim, and what does it argues, and what are the points related to the reformations, and what are the programs they started. So we had a discussion about these things. Now let us see who are those other leaders who went up with the Prarthana Samaj. They were like Justice Mahadeva Govind Ranade, M.G. Ranade, R.G. Bhandarkar, okay, and N.G. Chandravarkar. N.G. Chandravarkar. These were the other personalities who went up with Prarthana Samaj. And this scope of Prarthana Samaj, it extended into various areas, and especially under the leadership of Mahadev G. Ranade, he almost all extended the Samaj throughout the nation, we can say. And the most important what we see about Ranade was he attempted to reject child marriage and widow discriminations, or we can say widow system. Ranade opposed child marriage as well as widow system here. He believed that legal intervention is required. He says, in order to control these two, we need a proper law, legal law, so that it can control the activities of child marriage and widow systems. And he believed in order to control these two, we need to get the help of British government. Only then it is possible to control the system. So this is about Prarthana Samaj. So we studied who established it, what is the aim, what are the arguments of that organization, what does they say about reformation. They believe that reformation should not be a wish, but it should be a practice in real life. And many programs were being introduced by them, like especially for education for women and rehabilitation of poor, and some personalities who worked, and Ranade's activities in Prarthana Samaj. So this is about Prarthana Samaj. Next we will move to Satya Shodhak Samaj. Remember, today we celebrate Teachers Day, that is Women Teachers Day. Today we are celebrating every year. It is in the name of Bapule. Okay. So she is one of the Savitribai Bapule, whose birthday is being celebrated today as a Teachers Day. That is Women Teachers Day, Lady Teachers Day. It's been celebrated every year. And she is one of the founder of this Samaj, Satya Shodhak Samaj. See, just like Maharashtra and other parts, there were many problems, and especially the problems were related with gender and caste. These were the major problems what we find. And during the colonial rule, that is during the British rule, many movements took place, and many tried to bring equal reforms, many tried to solve these problems. And in the same manner, one other personality by name Jyoti Rao Bapule. This Jyoti Bapule, he was the founder of Satya Shodhak Samaj. Now, He planned up to overcome the problems like this, gender and caste. So in order to build philosophical thoughts, he wrote some books, and some of the books of Jyoti Bapule are, one is Gulamagiri, and one more is Set Karaya Cha Asudha. So here Gulamagiri, you can understand the meaning of this word Gulama, that is slave, and it is a book related with slavery, which has been going with the people of lower caste. And one more book is the Shet Karaya Cha. So what is this Shet Karaya Cha Asud? It is nothing but it is a book related with the cultivators, that is a farmer's whip code. This is the name of the book, Farmer's Whip Code. So like this, he has written number of books which throw light on the present life, or we can say on the present situations or the social conditions of those days. And his works, in his works we can see he opened a school for Shudras, and he started a school for girls. Bapule, who belonged to actually Mali caste, and he allowed people from all castes to take water from his well. He belongs to a Mali caste where untouchables were not allowed to touch the. He belonged to upper caste, but he allowed these untouchable people to take water from his well. Okay. So this is how he encouraged equality by providing basic needs to the untouchables from his own house. And especially his wife, just now what we discussed, Savitri Bapule. Her role is very important. Savitri Bapule, remember, she is the first teacher. The first teacher. She faced a lot of problems during her education days, during her school days. But even then, she completed and she finally became the first teacher of the time. And she joined hands with her husband, and both of them, they worked in such a way that they established hostels for girls. And he also played a very important role, especially for equality rights. Okay. And one more thing what we see, the most important thing is, even Dr. B.R. Ambedkar was also influenced by the work of Bapule. So such a personality Jyotirao Bapule was. So this is about Satya Shodhaka Samaj. Now next we will go with Aligarh movement. Aligarh movement. Remember, by the end of the 19th century, a new wave of social and religious reformation was set among Muslims, because among Muslims, actually, which was a traditional one, there was a slight change because of the British education. It brought change even among Muslims, and anti-British sentiment became strong among Muslims, that is after 1857, and they stayed away from the British, and also with the education and other things. Okay, because of the British activities, Muslims stayed away, especially after 1857 revolt. And during this time, they did not give more importance for Western education. And after that, we can see Sir Syed Ahmad Khan. Sir Syed Ahmad Khan started a new movement, and that was Mohammedan Literary Society. This was in 1863. He started the activities related with the education, religion, social and political issues. The upper and middle class youth participated, means many people from different category they started participating in this. And we can see that this Sir Syed Ahmad Khan, he brought a great change, and he was born in 1817 and he lived from 1817 to 1898. This is the period where he lived, and he brought a lot of changes. And he declared that Quran is the authoritative book, and according to Sir Syed Ahmad Khan, he says Quran is the only scripture, and the other scriptures whatever you get in Islam, they are derived. Quran is the only scripture which is original, which is authoritative. Other than this, all the remaining are derived ones. So he said, to believe, if you want to believe anything about the religion, that is Islam, he asked to believe only in Quran. Okay. And he said one has to interpret one's religion according to the changes. According to him, we need changes as time change. You cannot be stick to only one thing. And he says that religion will become sluggish. No change means religion becomes sluggish. Now, what do you mean by sluggish? Sluggish means stagnant, which has been stuck, which has been stopped, where there is no change. Okay. And Sir Syed Ahmad also fought against his programs. We can say that what are the programs of Sir Syed Ahmad means he fought against traditions as well as superstitious, ignorance and irrationalities. These are some of the programs what he started. He raised his voice against traditional system, against superstitions, against ignorance and against irrationalities. And you cannot see, according to him, he says open mind is must. Without open mind you cannot develop. There is no development. So these are some of the programs that are being introduced by him. And what are his other works? Opposed Parda system. Remember, among his programs, he opposed these things. He encouraged open-mindedness, intellectual mindedness for development. He opposed Parda system. He did not encourage the Parda system for which is being followed among Muslims. And he encouraged education for girls. He says that education is must for girls. And he opposed polygamy. He opposed polygamy. What do you mean by polygamy? In the previous class we had a discussion. Marrying many wives. Remember, we have many, like there is a polygamy. There is also called as polyandry. Polyandry, monoandry, okay, monogamy. Polyandry is marrying more husbands, where one woman marry more husbands. That is called as polyandry. Monoandry means one husband. Monogamy is one wife. Polygamy means many wives. So here we see that Sir Syed Ahmad Khan opposed polygamy, means he did not encourage. Actually they say that in Islam there is a permission for marrying more than one wife, but we see that Sir Syed Ahmad Khan, he opposed this system of marrying more than one wife. He did not accept polygamy, and these were the programs what he started: opposing traditionals, open-mindedness, opposing of Parda system, encouraging education, opposing polygamy. So all these programs he started. Now how to improve these programs? How to implement these programs? So in order to implement the programs, in order to implement all these programs, he started Anglo-Oriental College. And this Anglo-Oriental College, which was being started at Aligarh, okay, and this is later called as Aligarh University. It was started in 1875, but this later it was called Aligarh University. This university was started by Sir Syed Ahmad Khan. And what are these preachings? We see that first he went with religious tolerance. He went with religious tolerance, means he encouraged unity among Hindus, Muslims, Parsis, Christians, all. He encouraged all, and he asked everyone, he gave admission for everyone in the Aligarh movement, Aligarh College, and liberally everyone used to take admission, and all the religious people used to donate for the institution also. Okay. And this is how he started for the unity of all religion and eradicating of superstitious beliefs. So this is about Aligarh movement of Sir Syed Ahmad Khan. So next is about Ramakrishna Mission. We will see in the next class. Thank you.